I'm here with Tristan. Tristan, what's going on, man? How are you feeling for this main?
Feeling good and ready to go. Hopefully get a good start and just check out and stay in the draft for a couple first laps and then hopefully check on out after that. But I've rode here before last year and got second, so hopefully we can move it up one more spot.
So basically you're saying Sacramento's your track?
Sacramento, I love it. I love everything about it. This track's so fun and so fast and smooth.
Good deal. Well, I love your look here. You're looking fresh. I see you only put a couple tear-offs on, so some racing optics. That means you got some confidence going into this bad boy.
Yeah, I only got 4 tear-offs, and hopefully stay on the groove and stay smooth, and we'll hopefully get a top 3, if not top of the box.
Well, Tristan's not even going to want to use one of those right now. So, guys, car, what's happening?
Well, I tell you what, that young man, Tristan Avery, winner of a race in DuQuoin last year, had a massive save going off into turn 1 and ran down the 67. Well, I think one of the only times last year that Davis Fisher did not win the miles. So we know the kid knows how to make his way to the front. This is on a track that he likes very much.
It's going to be a good battle for sure. We got a lot of fast guys making their way towards the front. They're going to stage them up, and we're getting ready to turn them loose here for our first main event. GNC2s will be up first, and then we'll have our Grand National main event coming up in just a few minutes. Chris, it's going to be exciting. We've got 2 races left.
2 races left. Great racetrack. Beautiful evening here. A little bit on the cool side, but we haven't seen temperatures this cool since we used to run this race in April back in the 90s. So good conditions for the riders. All the motorcycles going to run really strong. They like this cool air.
They're getting them staged up right now. They have earned their starting pick on the line. Looks like most of the guys in the heat races were getting good shots off the starting line from the outside and then jumping straight out there on that blue groove.
Yeah, you know, there's so much difference between the outside edge of the racetrack where they've kind of dusted it off. There's a lot more grip, so these guys are kind of turning right off the start line, chasing up to where that traction is, and accelerating hard off into the corner. Gives them really good angle for turn 1 and allows them to continue the momentum on all the way through the corner. So outside starting spot's the premier spot tonight.
It looks like they just went from the outside into the inside, so usually different tracks you go to, you can pick different spots, but you know, these guys went from the outside to the inside.
Yeah, you know, Ryan Wells picking outside front row. You know, he's going to have the option to get to the rubber first.
Let's go back trackside. Dano's caught up with one more of our fast guys. Dano?
Well, I'm down here looking for James, and I see this guy with an 80 on. What's going on with the leather switch up? You guys got something going on after this that I don't know about?
No, I'm just borrowing a set of leathers from Stevie Bonzi. I made a kind of promise with myself that get on the podium, then I'll get myself a set of leathers. But for now, just keep having fun and going out here and doing some solid racing with these guys.
Awesome. Well, we're going to wish you good luck tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just want to thank Greg and Jeff at GPS Racing. They've been putting in a lot of hours on the bike, and my dad and Woody in the pit, and it's been a good year. So we're going to keep pressing forward.
All right, great to see the only Central Valley rider on the front row, James Monaco. We've kind of kidded him a lot. We've called him the son of an almond farmer, and we see the almond farmer out there in the middle of the racetrack. Best of luck to him tonight.
Coming up just a second, we'll have that starting lineup. Hopefully the tomato will turn himself around. I think he's got a plan. There he is. I see what he's doing. So we're going to have a starting lineup coming up in just a second as soon as these riders get staged up. GNC2 main event coming up in just a second. Chris, you got any predictions on this race?
I think it's going to be a great race. That's my prediction. That's what Sacramento always produces, and I wouldn't expect any different from this good crop of young riders.
All right, we're getting ready to see here in just a second. I think they're just about all staged up on the front straightaway. As soon as they give me the go-ahead, we'll do that starting lineup. Our first main event is 18 of the best GNC2 riders. They're scheduled to go 12 laps or 12 miles, and I believe we're ready to go. I haven't heard the official word. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with our 18th qualifier, starting at the back of the pack from Petaluma, California, on the Bills Motorcycles Kawasaki, the 50Y, Jimmy McAllister. Starting in the 17th starting spot from Bonnie Lake, I believe Washington, on the Henshaw's Honda, but it's a Kawasaki 650, the 19M, Hale Bachman. Starting in the 16th starting spot from Windsor, California, the Suzuki SV650 of Coca Racing and Herrera Racing, 56Z, Damon Coca. Back there on the third row, 15th pick on the line from Indianapolis, Indiana, the Ben Evans, David Cycles, Kawasaki, 99J, Kevin Stallings. Starting in the 14th starting spot from Simi Valley, California, the Pat and Kevin Nielsen, Frank Baker Racing, Kawasaki, 26E, Dylan Morin. Moving on to our 13th starter from Barrington, New Hampshire, long ways from home. It's the Freddie Johnson Racing Kawasaki, 27U, Jamison Minor. Now we move up to row number 2. This next rider finished second last weekend in Arizona from Gap, Pennsylvania. The McGrain Racing Scott Power Sports Kawasaki, 99A, Kyle McGrain. 11th spot from Salinas, California. Found a ride just this morning. The Sammy O Racing Kawasaki, the 11Z, Andrew Luker. 10th pick from Sherwood, Oregon. He was our fast qualifier earlier this afternoon. The Walrath Trucking Kawasaki, 16M, Austin Helmholtz. Starting ninth from Whitehall, Maryland. Had a top 5 last weekend in Arizona. It's the Don's Kawasaki DPC Racing entry. Number 92S, Brandon Price. 8th starter from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. The Be Bad Racing Kawasaki. The 36A, John Long III. 7th pick from Holly, Michigan. The Low Life Performance Recluse Clutch Kawasaki. The 20J, Ben Lau. The rest of the riders are on the front row. Our current points leader, 2-time winner this season from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, the Wood Racing Arai entry. It's a BMW, ladies and gentlemen, the 14A, Dalton Gautier. Up next from Canandaigua, New York, the KC Cycle, Team 95 Kawasaki. They call him the Flying Tomato, the 36B, Colby Carlisle. 4th pick on the front row from Modesto, California. The only California rider in the front row. It's the GPS Racing, Intense Racing Kawasaki, 23Z, James Monaco. Talked to this guy just a moment ago. He won at DuQuoin, Illinois last year on the mile. From Chesterfield, Virginia, the Ron Ayers Motorsports Kawasaki, 16S, Tristan Avery. 2nd pick on the front row from St. Louisville, Ohio, the Gray Hogs, Wimmer Cycle Kawasaki, 23F, Jeffrey Lowry. And your pole setter, the veteran of the crew from Albion, New York, doing it for Parkinson Brothers Racing Kawasaki entry, 94B, Flying Ryan Wells. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting lineup. Let's put our hands together for all 18 GNC2 riders. We're going to fire them up, and we'll send them out for one sighting lap. We'll stage them up. We'll turn them loose. Chris Carr.
Well, these guys, I'm sure, that was a good opportunity for them butterflies to fully develop in their bellies. Get ready, go out here for 12 laps. These guys are going to drop the hammer. These young group of riders are running on the same equipment standards of the GNC1 class today, so they're on some high horsepowered motorcycles with a little bit less experience. I'm looking forward to watching Cream rise to the top and see which of these guys are going to be the best candidates to beat GNC1 in 2017.
There's one BMW. That's the bike that just took off the 14A, Dalton Gautier. We have one Suzuki back in the pack, Damon Coca, 56Z. Everybody else on Kawasaki's. Our points leader picked up the victory on that BMW, the first ever in AMA Pro competition. Dalton Gautier had some brake issues, had a fall, still came from the third row and took the win. Can he go back-to-back wins here tonight at Sacramento?
He's certainly capable of it, but looked like that thing had a little bit of spark coming off of it, coming off of turn 2 under acceleration. Don't know if that's something rubbing there. Something we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on.
All right, so you never know what's going to happen. We're going to stage them up. It's going to be 18 riders, 12 laps, otherwise known as 12 miles. Can anybody get a good start from the inside? Seems like the good start's been coming from the outside and carry the momentum into turn number 1.
Well, we've seen some guys get some very good initial jumps, but it takes so long for them to find the good traction up on the blown-off part of the racetrack that while they might be able to get halfway there first, getting all the way there first has been very difficult from the inside.
I think Dalton Gauthier just figured out he had a problem. He kind of pointed down at the motorcycle. He's still going to pull up to the starting line. You have to right now. That's their only bike.
It's the only motorcycle they have in their pit area. He doesn't have a backup machine to go to. Be interesting to see what happens with that. But I thought I caught some little bit of sparks from up underneath the motorcycle coming off of turn 2. We'll watch him and see how it develops from there. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe my eyes were confusing myself.
Could have been something electrical. Could have been a reflection. You never know. But one of the bikes pulled off to the inside of the racetrack. I believe that might be Tristan Avery, the rider scheduled to be in the middle of the front row. And I don't know if they're working on tear-offs or what they're doing, but if he doesn't get up there, they're going to go without him.
Yeah, unfortunate. He's been pretty amped up. Looked like he was pretty confident as he rolls up now to the front row. Looks like got something sorted out, whatever his issue was. We're ready to go racing.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first main event of the night is the GNC2 class. They pull up to the line. Harley-Davidson, Vance and Hines Trophy girls. They'll step out of the way. Clutches are in. Bikes are in gear. Red light is on. There's 2 yellow lights, and we go green. First yellow's on.
For 5 seconds. The next one comes on, half to 2.5.
Light is green. We're racing at Sacramento. They're taking off in a hurry. They're off into turn number 1 from the outside. It's flying. Ryan Wells leads them into turn number 1.
Tristan Avery from the 3rd spot gets there second, followed closely by Lowry and then Monaco. Coming off of turn 2 for the first time. Excuse me, that's Carlisle in 4th.
They start building up some speed. They'll take him down the back straightaway. One rider way up against the guardrail. No harm, no foul. They keep on going. It's Wells with some sparks flying off his steel shoe going into turn number 1, or that could be his brake.
That looks like the steel shoe. Sometimes when you wear through the hard facing, you get the real steel and you run it across this quartz sand-based track. That's where the sparks are coming from. That's actual steel rubbing across the racetrack.
Track is very abrasive here tonight. It's very fast and very abrasive. Out front, Ryan Wells leads lap number 1. Jeffrey Lowry right there in the Tristan Avery in the 2 spot. Lowry back at 3rd.
Leader gets off the
wide.
groove, opens the door for Avery. Comes on through. Our leader blows the groove. That's not uncommon on a track like this. Off the start, a lot of sand gets blown out onto the groove, and that groove can get covered from the start. First time back through, those guys, the leader, typically loses grip and off the groove. And we're going to probably see that in the GNC1 race as well.
All right. Chris Carr predicting the future a little bit. Tristan Avery's going to lead him off at turn number 4 down the front straightaway. It is Avery on the 16S out front. Now some of the riders panning out. It's going to be the 94B trying to take over second. Doesn't quite make the pass. Still in second is Jeffrey Lowry, the 23.
Lowry slots into second. 94B, our pole sitter, Ryan Wells, running fairly patient in third. Meanwhile, out front, Avery pulls a couple bike link lead that time by. These guys are going to have to start working together when they start fighting for position late in the straightaway. That's going to allow the 16 to get away.
The sparks are flying off the 94B. Ryan Wells, it's off of his steel shoe. No harm, no foul. They'll keep on racing. Like Chris said, the hard surface that they put on the bottom of the steel shoe, when that wears out, it's down to steel. So you'll see the sparks show the entire main event. Avery continues to lead the 16S, looking for a second mile victory of his young career.
It looks really smooth. I haven't seen that bike step out through 1 and 2 that lap by. That was a very clean lap there. Fastest of the group. He pulled out a half a second that lap by with a time of 38.26. He's starting to get away. These guys behind are going to have to start working together rather than racing, or they're going to see the 16S disappear.
Well, that's kind of some of the unexperienced riders working their way up. You got Ryan Wells, who's been in this class for a little while, so he should know, but it's hard to settle down and race together and work your way to the front.
Yeah, and I think we saw the 14A on the BMW disappear from our that last lap by. He was in 6th, but I didn't see him out there on the racetrack. I think we've got maybe a mechanical on the 14A or point leader that's going to shake things up here.
Absolutely. He's the only rider to win 2 races this year so far in this GNC2 class. Here comes Ryan Wells taking a look up the inside. Doesn't quite make the draft pass. Lowry's got a strong horse tonight.
Yeah, Lowry's bike looks like it's geared a little bit different, a little strong there at the end of the straightaway. Wells, we know the PBR, Parkinson Brother Racing Kawasaki's are pretty salty. But meanwhile, out front, Tristan Avery's doing what he said he wanted to do. Get a good start, get to the front, drop the hammer and go as Wells makes his way up into the 2nd spot. Let's see if our pole sitter can lead the freight train here and march down our leader.
I don't know if these guys will be smart enough to get in line and work themselves up to catch up to our leader. Avery's pulling away the 16S. Remember, he won the DuQuoin mile last year, but he had to work for it. Now he's way out front, just like he told Dano a few moments ago. He wanted to get out front and check out, and that is what he's doing. Avery's putting on a show.
Yeah, last time by, another good lap. Opens up his gap to 1.7 seconds. That's an eternity on this racetrack. He keeps it on the rubber. These guys are going to have to work real hard with 6 to go here in order to march down our leader halfway.
Halfway flags are in the air. It's Avery out front. Wells in second. Lowry's in third. Carlisle last time by was in the 4th spot. See if he can get up there and get on the podium out here at Sacramento. He said, this is my favorite track. I'd love to win it. He's going to do a good job right now to get on the podium.
Yes, he has. Ryan Wells that time by still not able to narrow the gap out front. I think Avery gaining confidence lap by lap. Lap times keep getting faster. The last 2 laps are his fastest, 38.17 and a 38.19. Pretty consistent.
That's been how the night's been going. It seems like they get on the end of a rope and just swinging around in circles. It gets faster and faster and faster, and that's what Tristan Avery's doing the same thing. Lowry's taking a look up the inside, and it looks like Wells shuts the door going into 1. Lowry had to jump on the binders in a hurry.
Jumped on the binders, did a good job from not getting sucked in by that draft. Can pull you into the back of the rider in front of you. Did a good job staying off the rear wheel, the 94.
Way out front, Tristan Avery on the 16S machine from Chesterfield, Virginia. He's had a little bit of toolage from Mike Hacker, another Virginia rider.
Yeah. Seen this kid around the flat tracks on the East Coast for the last 6 or 7 years. A lot of talent there. His backstory 2 years ago was in contention for the Horizon Award. Had a near fatal accident at the Amateur Nationals, and then within a year of that accident, got on top of the podium in DuQuoin. As we look back through the field, we pick up the BMW of Gautier way back in the 15th position. I'm not sure what's going on with his motorcycle, but he's certainly having some difficulty, but getting a few points.
I know you called it, Chris, as he came off of turn number 2 on that warm-up lap. As he goes by Brandon Price, who's way at the back of the pack also. So Price may have hit the wrong setup, or his bike might be having problems too, but some sparks were flying from the back end of that 14A machine. Our points leader's way deep in the field. He's just trying to get a finish now tonight.
Yeah, get some points as best you can. You know, you come all this way from Pennsylvania and Maryland, respectfully, with those guys. They're going to hold on and try and get the best finish and fight for points, because you never know, it might be the difference between a championship and not at the end of the season.
He had a commanding point lead coming into this race, and it's going to be shrinking quite a bit because Avery's been running consecutive, finishes all season long too. So it's going to get tighter for the front of this one. Gautier was in front with 79 points. Ryan Wells was in second with 60, so it's a 19-point lead. So it's going to definitely tighten up.
Certainly going to tighten up. The way Wells won't be able to earn enough points to take over the point lead, but Avery certainly going to vault up a few positions, as we're looking at 2 to go for our leader.
Wow.
Tristan Avery with a 2.2 second lead.
Well,
that last lap backed off just a little bit. Feeling pretty comfortable, but a lap and a half to go to win this thing.
Wells all by himself now. He's got a little bit of breathing room back to Lowry back in the 3rd spot. Chris, a little bit different than other forms of racing. There's no communication going on between the teams. There's no spotter or anything like that. These guys are out there on their own.
You know, we've witnessed a lot of guys looking back and seeing who's near him, who they're going to have to deal with. But as a white flag comes out for our leader, Tristan Avery, 1 mile to go to bring this one home.
Looking for his 2nd mile victory of his career. 16S Avery way out front. Ryan Wells looks like he's now settled into that 2 spot. 3rd is the 23F of Jeffrey Lowry. He's all by himself. Kobe Carlisle back in 5th, and there's a dogfight from there on back. Avery, your leader, into turn number 3. Way out front, this young up-and-coming superstar. Right here, gonna look for another win.
A flawless performance as he goes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Leading coming off of turn 4 as we look back through the field.
Here comes the winner, already off of turn number 4. Double checkered flag is out. Avery by a country mile takes the win. Ryan Wells going to be credited with 2nd. There's Lowry in 3rd. 4th is Carlisle. And there's a dogfight. Anybody's going to make it to the line there.
It looked like Helmholtz and Monaco come across the line together, battling for 5th. Helmholtz gets the nod by whisker over James Monaco with a solid 6th place spot. Ben Lau, 20J in 7th.
That is Avery's 2nd career GNC2 win. Both of them have came on twins, and both of them on mile racetracks. So congratulations. Tristan Avery takes the win. Ryan Wells credited with 2nd place. 3rd is Jeffrey Lowry, the 23F. Kobe Carlisle 4th. Austin Helmholtz rounds out the top 5. James Monaco 6th. Ben Lau 7th. Kevin Stallings from the 3rd row all the way up to an 8th place finish. Good solid run right there. Kyle McGrain, 99A, the tall drink of water from Cat, Pennsylvania, will get 9th. And 10th is Jamison Miners, who's struggling just a little bit this year. I was expecting more out of him. This season's real young, though. Behind him in 11th, Dylan Morin. Andrew Luker, 12th place finish. Just John Long, the 3rd, in 13th. 14th is Brandon Price. 15th, Dalton Gauthier, our points leader, way back in 15th. Damon Coca, 16th. Jimmy McAllister, 17th. Avery's doing a wheelie all the way down the front straightaway. Going to show off just a little bit. I would, too.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited there. Pretty strong wheelie for the young man. I guess he saw Jay Springsteen and Scotty Parker pull them wheelies earlier. Figured, you know what? I may be young, but I can do that too.
So the points are going to get shuffled up here in the GNC2 class. Avery's making his way back around. I think he's just going to go. He's going to pick up somebody. I think he's going to pick up his brother Hayden.
Yeah, pick up brother Hayden. Traveled all the way across country with him. It's a family-run team. I know their papa. He's going to be pretty proud today to see his young man go to the top of the box again.
Chip Avery, is that correct?
Chip Avery, yes.
Yep, there you go. Tristan Avery's going to take that victory lap. Everybody else going to be heading up that victory podium. Only the winner's bike will make it up onto that podium. Everybody else gets to wish it was them.
That's right, but solid performance by 17-year-old Tristan Avery. Dominating performance. He did exactly what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to get a good start, kind of feel things out for a couple laps, take the lead, and go. And he did.
So Ryan Wells will be headed up to that podium, and also Jeffrey Lowry. Good solid finish, a nice podium finish for Lowry, the Ohio rider.
Yeah, and, one of the better finishes for Lowry, I think. Good job by Jeffrey. He was a Horizon Award winner a couple of years ago at the Amateur Nationals, and I just think this might be his first podium, is it not?
Who's that?
Jeffrey Lowry.
I believe possibly.
Very possible. I'll have to look into that.
Good solid finish, though, for him for sure. He won his heat race earlier.
Yeah.
Good solid run. Avery's making his way with the victory lap with his brother Hayden on the back, and we'll have our victory celebration, and our GNC1 class will be coming up next.
I think that's probably the 4th different winner in 5 races in this class,
Yes,
too.
it is.
So, congratulations.
Gauthier was the only rider to repeat, and he did that last week.
So, congratulations. There's your winner, folks. 17-year-old Tristan Avery from Virginia, all the way over out here in Sacramento, California, getting him a GNC2 victory.
He's trying to find his way to that victory podium. It's kind of hard. It's a little bit darker on the inside of the straightaway than it is on the racetrack. He's so pumped up. He'll make it down there in just a second. He said, I'll go through right here.
I think they're always going to figure out a way to sniff their way to victory podium. He found it.
I would too. Trophy girls, trophies, money, man.
Fake champagne.
Yep, fake champagne for these youngsters. All right, I believe he's going to take off his helmet and his gloves. We're going to go to that victory podium for our first main event and our winner. Dano, take it away.
Well, thank you there, Scotty. Tristan, I'll tell you what, man. What did you just tell me down there exactly? Did you even pull a tear off, my man?
I pulled one off on the cool down just to get the roost off a little bit.
How did that feel? Tell me about it.
Oh, this feels like a bunch of weight lifted on my shoulders, man. After I went into coin last year on July 4th. This has just been a hectic trying to get a podium and trying to get #1 spot, but this is a major reliever. Got second here last year, so this is exactly what we wanted and came here for.
Well, you came here to Sacramento, you stomped it, and you killed it. You got some people you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, I got a boatload of people to thank. Arai Helmets, PBW Racing, Denise, Super Trap, Ride Academy, Bell Ray, Motion Pro, Evil Racing, and Bugner Racing Suspension, Saddleman, KW Leathers, and Evans Coolant. Everyone that helps me out. This is a dream come true once again, and especially here. This is a special place for me last year, and I love to come back here every year.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Sacramento Mile GNC2 winner, Tristan Avery. What are you guys doing up in the booth?
And we're just sitting back watching you do all the hard work down there. Avery picks up the win. Again, Ryan Wells will get him up on the podium, and Jeffrey Lowry here in just a second. They're headed up there right now, so very happy Avery.
And deservedly so. He should be happy. That was a dominating performance. I know he struggled a little bit early in the season. Certainly looks like he's got it together, and I can bet you he's looking forward to heading to Springfield next week.
All right, let's go back trackside with our second-place finisher in Dano.
Mr. Ryan Will, looking good, by the way. Tell me about that race.
Yeah, I got off to an awesome start, and I was just going to try to plug as many mistake-free laps as I could. We had a couple issues. I'm not sure what it was. We're going to go back and do our research when we get home, but we salvaged as many points as we could, and I'm happy with a second. It's my best mile finish yet, so I'm excited to keep going with this year and just can't give it up to my team, Parkinson Brothers Racing, enough. They work their butts off harder than I do, I think, so I can't thank them enough. Ramspur Winery, Gordy Chopre, Pro One Industries, Motion Pro, K&N, Vortex, Bill Built, Co. Precision Power Services, Fat Guys Racing, Pilot Leathers, Recluse Clutches, Spider Grips, and just Bell Helmets, Fats Bar, James Rispoli, Brian Smith for helping me at home and whenever I need some questions answered, and just everybody else, thank you so much. Hope we make you proud this season.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place, Mr. Ryan Well.
Ryan Wells out of New York takes that second spot. We'll get that third-place finisher up there. Jeffrey Lauer will be up there in just a second. Man, good solid finish for Wells. The veteran of the class. He rose to the top there at the end, just didn't have anything for the leaders. He was checked out.
Well, he was second in points coming into the race. Took a big chunk out of that on our point leader, Dalton Gauthier, who was down in 15th spot. So the race at the top is tightened up.
All right, let's go back to the podium one more time with Dano.
All right, thank you. I'm down here. Third place, Jeff. Tell me about it, man. I'm calling you Jeff now, by the way.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, we've had a good day. I mean, we started out kind of in the middle of the pack of qualifying. We had a great heat race, pulled off the win in that, and then came out here and just came up a little bit short in the main. You know, those first few laps, I thought I was going to have something for Tristan, but tire got hot. We started to fade a little bit. I just have to thank everyone that's helped get me here. All the Gray Hogs, you guys back home, you guys are awesome. Weimer Cycle, Ben Evans for helping us get this awesome bike together. You know, this is only our second ride on the bike. We're going to keep making improvements, keep getting better, and hopefully be up front next weekend.
Well, you definitely made AXO proud. So how about it, ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Laurie. And here are your top three.
GNC2 podium, going to take a few moments, take some pictures, and celebrate down there on that podium before we get ready for this, the final main event. We were just made aware that there has been a change in the next race, Chris.
Yeah, it's our understanding that the nature of the fast racetrack that we have here tonight and the outstanding job of preparation by Dennis Pearson and crew from Dirt Productions, that to err on the side of caution, they feel that it's necessary to cut the 25-lap final down to 20 laps. This is the first time our control tire, produced by Dunlop, has seen this particular racetrack. And to err on the side of caution on behalf of the riders' safety, they have chosen to reduce the race 5 laps to ensure that these tires will go to the distance. A year ago on this particular racetrack, there were several riders in the field. Actually, I think 18 of the 18 riders on last year's tire finished with bald tires that showed absolutely no tread pattern whatsoever. So they have decided to, just so we don't get into that issue again, they're going to widen the window of error here, and these guys are going to go 20 laps instead of 25.
Well, what's it like when your tire goes away and it's pretty much, there's no lugs on it, it's pretty much a slick? I mean, how does that feel on a mile track, Chris?
Well, not only is it a slick, there's no more forward grip, but there's also no more side grip. So all of a sudden, it's like going from 100% grip to 0 in a very short window of time. And these are not radial tires. They're not running inner bladders like you see in NASCAR. These guys, as soon as they go through that carcass, they're going straight to tube, and they're expelling all the air. So on behalf of the riders, I think this is a good move by AMA Pro Racing to shorten this up, give these guys a little bit of window of error, and we should see 20 laps racing, maybe a little bit higher pace than we would see 25 if they had to try and nurse it up.
All right, so they just handed me the name of our $100 cash winner, Frank Acosta. If that is you, you just won $100 from the AMA Pro Merchandise trailer. Stop by and pick it up before you leave tonight. So coming up in just a second, ladies and gentlemen, the GNC1 main event.